Hello, and welcome to this web live series with Avantune. I'm Romano Bonifazzi, founder and CEO of Avantune, and I really appreciate you being with us today because we are going to explore a little bit smart working and how smart working is affecting in general the world and the businesses. And to go over these topics, I would like to welcome the rest of my team here tonight that I have with me, and let me introduce them, and then we can go over the various topics that we will touch today. So I would like to welcome Aziz Khan, General Manager for Avantune. Good afternoon, Aziz.
Good afternoon.
As well, I would love to introduce and give the welcome to Alexandra Zelak, Marketing Director for Avantune North America. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And last but not least, Shri Nair, our Sales Manager for Avantune North America. Welcome on this live streaming, Shri. Okay,
Thank you, Ramona.
you're
Pleasure
welcome.
to meet.
Well, I think that we have this emergency period that is following the virus that force in some way a lot of business to reinvent the way that they are doing business. Someone had to shut down their business, very sadly, but someone was also able to keep doing their job from home, and this is what now it's worldwide famous with this new word called the smart working. Smart working is a great opportunity. Smart working is something that will enable every business to run in a desperate situation like the emergency. But clearly, we do not have to consider smart working an opportunity only during the emergency, because smart working is something that can help the digital journey and the digital transformation of every business, enabling them to run in complex situation like an emergency, but also being able to transform the way that they work every day. And this is the main topics and something that I really would love to explore with you today. Not from a sales perspective as a Avantune as a company, because we're not going to sell anything today, but we would love to explore with you all the challenges that the smart working is bringing into businesses and how they can react to implement a strategy for the digital transformation to be able to navigate complex period right now, but also to build a better and more flexible and more secure business for the future. So I think it's time to start introducing some of our guests and start having a little bit of conversation around various topics that we can have today. So Aziz, welcome on board and good afternoon.
Good afternoon again.
So as you know, we are all remote. Like today, this live stream is remote like all our employees. At Avantune, we decide, to put in place the smart working much in advance that any government. Avantune is a small multinational company. We have 4 different countries: Italy, North America, Canada, US, Mexico. But we decide to act early, so to just be sure that we can offer to all our employees, the security and the safety that they need. So clearly that was challenging. I mean, for us, like for any other organization. And I would love to start with you, Aziz, to introduce some of the question, how you see as a GM, even more in details from an HR standpoint, what are the challenges that you face at Avantune to implement the smart working? And in general, what are the challenges that any company that will love implement smart working or use more the smart working phase? And this question is not only for the emergency, Aziz. I would love to, to discuss a little bit what in general, even after the emergency, can be the opportunity for any business to, embrace this new way of working.
Absolutely, Arman. I remember getting that phone call from you, sort of mandating that we are ahead and we don't wait for government mandates to move our staff into a remote working circumstance. And while that was predictable, but it did come quicker than we had anticipated. And smart working, while it's not limited to remote working, it underpins digital technology for business processes, data consumption, collaboration, et cetera, et cetera. So after getting that call from you, we had to go into a mode where we needed to make sure that what we were leveraging already as a technology service provider that has these solutions for our customers were indeed absolutely up to snuff for ourselves, because we just would, indefinitely lose that luxury of walking up to somebody's desk and having something done rather than, or rather we'd have to go into a circumstance where it would have to be all digital and all sort of over the wire. So, from a challenge perspective, candidly speaking, us being the solution provider and having products like Proj and Faxes and Analysis that is intertwined on our daily lives in any case. And these products, as you know very well, being the founder and creator of all of this, it's all cloud enabled and very, very fluid when it comes to accessibility and how people want to work and where they want to work from and when they want to work. It's really liberating a workforce. So for us, the transition wasn't necessarily that difficult. But I'll give you an interesting story that I know you'll relate fairly quickly to. Is that if you recall, we made two very strategic hires 3 days and 5 days before we went into the remote work mode, and that was a bit of a challenge. Okay, since we're kind of speaking candidly about challenges and things that we did to overcome things, so that was probably the biggest challenge. And I'll elaborate a little bit. When we hire in Avantune, we're fairly picky, and we went through an exhaustive hiring process. We found two stellar individuals. We brought them on board, and this is quite honestly, this is what everybody does. We hire the best, and once you hire the best, you sort of tend to think that, okay, we have the luxury of maybe a sort of a 30, 60, 90-day plan, and you can be very high touch with that employee and get them up to speed. But here we were in a situation, as you can imagine, and I think you know where I'm going with this, that luxury was all of a sudden taken away. We had to get these people up to snuff, up to speed very quickly without having a high touch in-person involvement with them. So here's where smart working, digital transformation, whatever term you want to use, came into profound importance, right? It became profoundly important for us, at least. What we noticed is that we were able to get these people turned on, provisioned very, very fast. We were able to have video sessions, working sessions with them on the tools via the cloud, sitting wherever they were conveniently located. They didn't have to have an official space to work from. They could be on their dining tables or living room, wherever it was convenient for them. And we did not lose any productivity. We did not lose any efficiency. We just found these people to transition into their new roles very, very quickly. And I would actually argue that, having witnessed other new employee onboarding, these went better. Which was interesting to me because I found that these people were more comfortable with the products quicker, and the speed at which they were using it was quicker. So the message here is that we go out and hire the best people. That's a no-brainer. We all do that. But it is equally important to give them the tools and the processes and the technology that's required to enable them, right? So the enablement is almost like phase 2 of hiring somebody, because what good is it, to hire the best of the best, but then not liberate them to do what they do? And I think if smart working has touched us and affected us in a very important manner, it's that enablement of our employees. So from an HR perspective, this unfortunate the amazing powers that our solutions have uh, within our products, and we put it to use with these two new employees. And then, of course, the existing employees, I will end by saying that they sort of were just kind of carrying on doing what they're doing at the office at home, because again, our products are very, very agnostic to what way you're consuming.
Oh, very
So
interesting, Aziz. So you are,
yeah,
if I can read you between the lines, I mean, what you're saying is that, smart working, it's also a mindset. So it's not just
of
the
course.
matter of tools, it's the matter of, giving people the right tools, but also if I correctly understand, invest in training them, in supporting them,
Yes.
in,
Yeah.
get your people on board with this new way of interacting and train them. So if you should give an advice or a suggestion to someone like your general manager for, not at Avantune, but for any business, if you
Sure.
should give an
Yeah.
advice to, general manager or an HR director, what will be your best advice for, supporting teams or whatever they should invest?
Absolutely. My advice would be that think about the way you're utilizing your hires, your employees, whether it's new hires, existing hires. Think about the way that you are leveraging their skill sets, their capabilities, and so on and so forth. And ask yourself, are they fully enabled? Think about it. If you bought yourself a super fast exotic car and you did not have the roads or the type of fuel or gas that you need to put in to bring about the most performance out of that car, would you be well served with your investment? It's the same thing with our people. If we don't provide them with the tools and the technology that really is revolutionary and actually will enable them to their fullest, are we getting the most that we have invested in our people? So, my advice more than anything at this time, just ask yourself, be a little reflective as to, are you actually doing that? Or is there room to improve? Is there something you're leaving behind on the table?
Oh, it totally makes sense, Aziz. No, thank you, because I think this is something that, will interest anybody to hear and, to discover a little bit more. Well, I think that one of the other important topics to, realize and to discuss when we are, everybody's remote, working from home, look at Alexandra and Shri, myself. I mean, kind of a little bit strange home, but I mean,
Mhm.
yes. But we are all facing, a challenge of being remote, right? That's our point. And this leads me to the next guest that I would love to invite, because one of the key topic for any business in the smart working is how we really interact with customer, and especially the key topic is about sales. So I love to welcome Shri, sales for Avantune North America. And I think that the next question, Shri, that I would love to ask
Thank you.
yeah, the next question that I would love to ask to you, Shri, is as a sales leader, I mean, how you uh, react to this smart working. How the smart working is really changing the way that the sales team have to work together or even interact with customer, which is one of the other important, believe, aspect of any sales team. So that will be really interesting to hear, because everybody is worried about how can we really keep interacting with customer and have my sales team to perform even during this hard time right now, but also again in the future, because this smart working is here to stay.
Right. Again, thank you. My name is Sri, and I'm a sales consultant with Avantune North America. Great pleasure to be a part of this live discussion on smart working, and also to provide some insights into what we do as a team to help our employees to work smart during this pandemic times. And thank you very much, Hermano, for providing this great opportunity, and also for hosting this live discussion here. So to answer your question, let me begin with this. Sales processes for technology companies like Avantune, it has always been digital. We have a team of front-end sales professionals. We have support experts and customer experience gurus, as we call them, who are constantly trying to add value to our customers' journey at every stage using digitally enabled cloud-based business productivity solutions. And for successfully carrying this out, we have, especially in Avantune, we have always embraced the benefits of smart world. The COVID-19 situation did change the work as an organization, especially with the sales team, not by much, but realizing the growing need to be more productive, more collaborative, and agile. So as tech sales professionals, well, we rely a lot on cloud-based solutions, including our Genia Cloud suite of CRM, ERP, and analytics tools, and Faxes, our document collaboration tool, and other business productivity solutions like Zoom to ensure that we are productive, we are cost efficient, and we're virtually connected as a team. Yeah. So our solutions kind of enable us to manage majorly three aspects of sales, which includes contact. We have the demand generation part, and also the part of team collaboration. And now we've been very successful even during this time to contribute as a team towards our business goals. Cloud Pro, our ERP CRM solutions, it'll help us manage our prospect databases, contact management, lead management, etc., and enables me, as someone heading a handful of associates here at Avantune, gain access to sales data and their activities. So on the demand generation side that I mentioned, our solutions also help us automate our outreach, help us manage our incoming leads, and through channels like website and landing pages and campaigns, and also tracking the health of our sales pipeline, understanding how our associates are performing in terms of their sales activities, like meeting quotas or providing required sales insights to make critical strategic decisions for the team as well as the C-level. And we are able to track various sales stages where our prospects are, understand what are our lower-hanging opportunities to take the best next steps. Our solutions, like I mentioned, also enables us to reach out to a large pool of existing customers with messages assuring that we are supporting them during this COVID-19 scenario, and also enabling a better visibility of these campaigns to the broader team to understand what are the possibilities in which we can improve this in future. And we're also very successful in sharing, managing, and collaborating the documents internally and externally with our prospects and customers using our access, helping us to be on top of our quotas, SOWs, NDAs, and contracts during these times. So to conclude, we are a technology-enabled team here too, and our solutions help us feel like this is just another day. We're not away from home, or we're not away from work, but just that we all are not in a traditional face-to-face sales discussion situation here. Hopefully what I've added here adds value to our conversation and helps understand what we do in terms of sales in Avantune.
Oh, no, absolutely. And as I was reading behind the lines, between the lines with Aziz, I think that what you said is that, the importance of having a set of tools that can assist a sales team, not just video conferencing, but being able to do your quotes, your quotations, interact with customer. It's really the key of, what we need to have, which connect me also to the next point where I would love to bring in the next guest that we will have on the list. And good afternoon, Alexandra, because marketing is strictly connected. Hi, is strictly connected with sales, and we all know that that's something that people will love to hear, because I think that there are a lot of challenges, even if marketing usually is the most acquainted kind of department in an organization. With tools and technology, and especially for you at Avantune, because you had a widespread team. But I think that in this change that where every company is facing due to this emergency, and with the smart working to be embraced almost immediately, because that was the rush. I think that even for marketing, global marketing, there is there are challenges. So I would love to hear from yourself, what are the challenges that you have faced during this implementation of the smart working at Avantune, and in general, how any company can address the approach to smart working, especially for marketing professionals like yourself.
Oh, hey, Armando, great question. And I just wanted to say thanks to everyone joining in. It's really nice to have you with us. Smart working really at the core is a business savvy approach to workplace flexibility, provides us an integrated and strategic approach to how we work. And as most people are familiar with marketing and marketers, we're a very collaborative group. We're not just amongst our own teams, but within departments across the organization. And being in constant contact physically with these teams has really been a huge asset to us. However, specific to my marketing team in North America for Avantune, we haven't been remote until now. But like many other companies with global teams, we have been challenged with being separated from the rest of our company through time zones and distance. And so, in a way, we've been implementing smart working for a while. That said, we collaborate and set deadlines and campaign execution schedules and share everything from editorial calendars to campaign launches, but with the flexibility of time that we have set up for ourselves. Given the current pandemic situation, we had to act much faster and kind of dismiss the existing deadlines, which were set with time zones and markets in mind to execute types of campaigns and messages that typically take a lot longer to prepare. And this is really where the challenges kind of came up for us. And let me preface this by saying, for as a company overall, our message is the same. Our solutions don't change from market to market, but as marketers, how we introduce those are different and unique to our respective audiences and our respective, geographical locations. But with COVID-19, we were really in this unified situation in which our global audience was experiencing the same thing at the same time. Um, one of the key factors to our success in aligning our message for our global audience at this time was working collaboratively through our Faxes solution. If our listeners aren't aware of what Faxes it's essentially a digital document solution in which, instead of going back and forth on email or designated meeting times or chatting all day long, we upload our files. They're accessible on the cloud. Everyone that needs to gets access to them. We ensure we're aligned. We create edit controls and versions and create workflows, request appropriate approvals, and really get insight to what each team is doing and what stage they're at, without having to constantly be in touch or define times where we communicate. This way, everyone could work at their own pace and when it suited them best, and while still meeting the specific meeting deadlines. Um, that leads me to my next challenge, which ties back to my colleague Sri and sales, is that in responding to this unplanned situation, we had to prepare and equip our teams with the appropriate messages so that they could deliver them to our clients and prospective clients. We wanted to be sensitive to the circumstances that they're facing, and we know that everyone's priorities have shifted, ours included, and the situation was brand new to us. It's brand new to everyone, so we had to collaborate quicker and more efficiently than ever before to alter our approach and be less aggressive with a more subtle message rather than high touch points that customers would typically see coming through our sales teams. And as a marketer and for everyone, it's really difficult to shift your focus from existing and planned initiatives that we've been working on for a long time and working really hard on, and put them kind of on the back burner by if it's taught us anything, and it's certainly taught myself, it's we need to equip ourselves and understand platforms that enable us to deliver and execute and prepare for unexpected situations while maintaining a sense of collaboration, but perhaps in a less traditional way than we're used to in any other circumstance. Um, and to wrap up, which I will, so everyone
That's
else
fine.
can speak. Um, you know, just a little bit of advice to my fellow marketers, especially in a management position. It's really important to understand that your team, your employees, they're not just going through a professional change, they're going through a personal shift. And, it's critical to set your team up with easy to use digital solutions and platforms that enable their productivity. It's hard to not get confined by set meetings and calls and email approvals, or whichever medium you typically use to get your work executed, by to implement measures that allow them to work with ease and flexibility and still deliver the high quality results that we're all used to producing.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Alexander. Very, very interesting. Which, by the way, if we connect the dots of, what we were discussing so far, I think that the interesting part is that, there is a lot to invest in training. This is what I captured from Aziz. There is a lot to invest still in having a culture of being connected. This is what you were just saying. And as well, clearly the tools are very important. So technology can help clearly to implement smart working. Yes, at Avantune, that's our job since ever. But I mean, especially now, I think that for every company trying to understand that the technology can be big factor of their success. It's one of the key area where they can focus. So it's not, I was reading an interesting article about how many disaster recovery plan were executed, how many millions and billions were even spent on disaster recovery plans for having 2, 3, 4 different sites with tons of server and technology, but nobody was really ready to be a part in as a team, not as a machine. So this proved that smart working is really the key, not just investing on new hardware, but investing how the people can really deliver their results to the platform and the tools. So this leads me to bring to the table, to the floor, a question about what are the technological challenge that a company like Avantune face for implementing smart working, even being a technical company that every company will face. Why don't you start at this, giving your point of view, and then we can make a little bit
Sure.
of a circulation of this question to everybody.
Absolutely. Any time that you adopt some type of new technology or a new way of doing something, there's going to be bumps along the way. Again, being a technology company, the bumps along the way for us obviously will be lesser than ones that are not as technologically savvy or adept at doing what they're doing. Um, the spirit is what makes the difference, right? So what is the mindset that you have going into solving this digital transformation problem that you may have? So for us, uh, again, candidly speaking, there weren't many. Maybe there was a couple of little hiccups with our VPN connections because of capacity issue or whatever, but very minor issues. But if I look at other organizations, the problems will be far more complex to deal with. Um, but here's the good news. Find the right partner, right? Again, I'm going into advisory mode here. Find the right partner, and I'll plug. Obviously, I'm an Avantune employee. I'll plug Avantune here and say, find a partner like Avantune who will not necessarily go and sell you products. They will sell you solutions. They'll work with you. They'll delve into the problems that you're trying to solve. They will right size solutions for you to adopt whatever you're trying to fix in a graduated manner, right? So But the important part that needs to be kept in mind is that let's do it. Let's get right into it. Let's use this crisis that we have in a positive manner. Let's use it as that burning platform that we needed to make these things happen, right? So again, to wrap up, I'll just say that yes, there are bumps along the way, but nothing that is so profound that will stop you on your tracks or get your business off the tracks or what have you. In fact, it's quite the opposite when you partner with the right people and you get the right solutions in place.
Oh, totally. I mean, the fact that, smart working came over so rapidly, I mean, it was a challenge, but I think that everybody, understand that there are a lot of opportunity in this new way of working. And, smart working, I would say, is here to stay. So it's not gonna disappear. Hopefully the virus will disappear. That's what
Yeah,
everybody
absolutely.
is working. But I mean, this new way of working and interacting with customers, it will give us finally probably that plateau of productivity that technology was promising since a long time. So I think that this was a very interesting session, and I would love to uh, sum it up briefly from all of you guys, like giving your real advice, like if you were not working for Avantune, which provide tools, but what is your best advice to any business so that they can look for the tools or for the training, or what are the challenge that they need to be ready to face for the smart working, and what they really have to invest and look into, because as we say, not just for now, but even for the future, that will be the final destination.
Sure. Let me just say a couple of words on that. Look, we're going to get over COVID-19. This will be behind us, and we'll all be stronger for it. There's no doubt in my mind. And you know, it's horrendous what's going on out there, but it's not permanent. We know that. Use this time to think, contemplate. I know that every one of us are doing that. Let's do that for our businesses, and let's not be afraid of the digital transformation that's so necessary. Right, the
Yeah.
smart working that's required, the digital transformation that's required. Let's get right into it, and let's get to work and let's implement these solutions so that we're all better and we're not going to be faced with any of the new crises that will absolutely come our way in future, and be prepared and be a little more under control. So those are my thoughts. I remain very hopeful that this is going to teach us so much, that we will be very empowered and better at the end of it all.
Any advice from you, Alexandra?
Yeah, so, smart working is ultimately built on automation and remote access, and, it kind of diminishes the need for a traditional office environment in a certain sense, but mostly in the way that we're talking in a logistical point. The point of smart working isn't to enable your workforce to be able to work from home. It's meant to enable your workforce to be able to execute the same level of work, um, in an easy and effective and efficient manner, regardless of what they are. And just because we might not depend on that traditional office environment, the reality of the situation is that we're still expected to deliver the exact same results that we were supposed to when we're at the office, regardless of where we are. So, smart working is just a tool that can enable us. As a marketer, it's helped us, but it it's essential to any department in any organization, no matter how big or small. And something like the solutions that we offer, which are really easy to implement and cloud based and don't take up a lot of time, are critical at a time like this when everyone has had to shift how they work, not necessarily on their own choice, but due to external circumstances such as COVID-19 right now. And I think going forward, to Aziz's point, that's something we need to be prepared for.
Very interesting. Anything from you, Shri? briefly?
Definitely. Yes, for sure. So just continuing where all of you left out, and this is extremely important. I mean, we need to be a very agile team, whether you're part of the sales function or the marketing function. If not, COVID-19 would have been something else that's going to stop us from doing what we do. But it's about the teams to be prepared. It's about the leaders to understand what kind of visibility they're looking at in terms of their team's performance, and what kind of goals they have for future, and how they can manage these goals irrespective of whether they're in the office or not. So this current COVID-19 situation has forced us, or maybe I would call it opened our eyes to understand that we need to be more flexible, more agile, and we need to also have solutions that would facilitate remote working or smart working in future, so that our business goes on as usual. So especially at the sales end, it is extremely critical that we need to have consistency in terms of the kind of efforts that we're putting out there in terms of bringing more revenue to the business. So irrespective of the office, where you're working remote, you still need to have the right platform and tools to enable your workforce to perform better and show better results. So winding it up, this is my opinion.
Thank you. No, no, no. It's appreciated for sure. People love to hear, real experience, what, they can do and what they will face, and hopefully we can help them. And that's, in fact, I know it's a little surprise for you, but Aziz, I have a final question for you.
Sure.
Being the general manager for North America, I cannot refrain to ask you, okay, where do you feel strong as Avantune, especially as Avantune North America, that you can bring value, and where you feel that you can help customer to succeed now in the emergency, but also post the emergency?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the biggest benefit that working with an organization like Avantune that our customers would have is the breadth of our product, the power of the solutions that we can bring to the table, and the ease with which you can implement the solutions that we have, and the ease with which you can slice up the solutions that you need at your current pace, right? So I cannot stress that enough. I had mentioned that even on my earlier segment, where I said that we will work with people to go at their pace. We're not a large behemoth organization that comes in and wants to basically take over your entire IT department and um, all those other interesting things that go on with such companies. We work at the pace of our customers, and we have the comprehensive set of solutions that you would be quite amazed with vis-a-vis your ERP, your CRM, your collaboration tools, your business intelligence. And I mean, if you have that type of a comprehensive set of solutions, just imagine the power that you have at your fingertips to run a business with enhanced efficiencies. And if we tie it back to COVID-19, not just disaster recovery or anything like that, the enablement that you have from a business continuity perspective, the BCP, the business continuity plans that you can execute on, whether it's this crisis or another one, and surely there'll be more, just go through this roof. So we bring you solutions that will help you with that, and we can right size it for you for your pace of consumption. I think that's the best way I can put the value that we bring to the table.
Totally, totally. Thank you, Aziz. So I would love to welcome all the floor here. So say good afternoon, and see you soon, Sri. I mean, as a sales manager, thank you to Alexandra for being with us. And thanks to you, Aziz. And, a few words to wrap up. And thanks to everybody that was in this, live session. and hopefully we will see you soon again. So don't forget to check out our website, avantune.com, where you will find more information. Don't forget to check out also that on genialcloud.com, our solution website. You can also subscribe for free to certain plan that we have for you. So there are plans that are free now and will stay free forever, like our social version of all our products. And as well, you will find a huge set of information how to deploy Smartworking for your organization and more. And actually, this series of live will keep going, where we will go more in depth into the topics of the smart working and how company can succeed in the emergency and even post-emergency. Thanks everybody for spending this 40 minutes with us. See you next time. Bye bye.
Genial Cloud, a smart business orchestration platform, makes working outside of a traditional office environment easy and flexible. Genial Cloud allows users to work from the cloud on any device without having to install any software. Users have access to applications that enable complete employee management, accounting, and approval processes via workflow and email. Genial Cloud offers web-enabled collaboration tools, document creation without Office, online scanning, and document sharing, online management of time and attendance, travel and expenses, accounting, sales, finance, and purchasing. Includes powerful data analytics to forecast sales results, project health metrics, track KPIs, and much more. Try Genial Cloud now to easily enable smart working for your company.